Most volleyball that you see on TV shows or movies or whatever, even just like a little glimpse, is just interesting.
Because they're clearly not volleyball players?
Right.
That was Dana Rettke, and this is On the Bench with Mike Hall. That's me. Dana Rettke is one of the best current college athletes in the country, regardless of sport or gender. She's a senior volleyball player at Wisconsin, and her mantle is already overflowing. She won the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, as well as multiple National Freshman of the Year honors. She's won the Big Ten Player of the Year and been named a first-team All-American all 3 seasons. It's no surprise the U.S. national team has been using her talents for a while now. The Illinois native led her Badgers to the national title match last year as a junior. This year, the pandemic pushed the start of the season back all the way to this coming Friday, January 22nd. And as the season starts, Rettke's Badgers are ranked the #1 team in the country. She is 6'8", powerful and intimidating on the court, while smart and perspective-laden off it. She's also fun. In fact, she is known to have a dance party before every match she plays, which I asked her to elaborate on to start things off.
So it's like, we go into the locker room, we're all like kind of getting ready, getting changed, and about like, I don't know, I think we have it timed out like exactly like on the minute is like when it starts. I think it's exactly 10 minutes before we meet in the film room before we go up to warm up. And we have like our 3 songs that we just play, and we just jump around and dance and have a really good time, get, the adrenaline going before we head out onto the court. So it's pretty fun.
What are the 3 songs?
Oh gosh, I'm honestly not 100% sure. What?
You gotta know them. You've gotta. There's only 3.
No, there's 3, but they've changed from year to year. I can look them up if you want me to.
Well, who's in charge of the music decisions
here? It was Tiffany Clark.
Okay.
This past year.
Did we like her? Did she have good taste?
Oh yeah, she has great taste. Okay. She was always the one DJing before games, even before a little dance party. So, yeah.
How many people participate?
Not everybody. It's important that like people, if you got to do what you got to do before a game. So, it's probably a little bit more. It's about 75%, I would say. Okay. Yeah. So good, maybe 12.
Nice. Yeah. You make fun of those who aren't joining you and try to ostracize them and.
Oh no. It's mostly the setters usually because they go up during those 10 minutes they have like their setting warm up. But if people don't want to participate, all good as long as everyone gets ready the way they need to get ready. It's up to everybody else. Like what they want to do.
Does the coaching staff ever participate?
No, that would be funny.
We got to get that one time, maybe for a Big Ten title.
Maybe once, yeah.
Which coach is most likely to join?
Probably Brittany, the dinosaur of our assistants.
Okay, all right. We talked earlier when the quarantine was just starting, and you were telling me that your team was so close, but was frustrated that you guys couldn't be together because of all the COVID regulations and everything. So you did not only a book club, but a documentary club. Now, was that just for The Last Dance, or were there other documentaries?
No, we actually watched a couple of other ones. There's a Bill Gates documentary on Netflix, which was really awesome. I didn't know a lot of his background. I mean, obviously I knew about Microsoft and all that stuff, but it really kind of talks a lot about his philanthropy work and, how he's putting, where he's putting his money now and like kind of his like, the Bill Gates Foundation that's happening right now. So that was really awesome. Like a very different spin on leadership. And then, at least compared to the sports world. But then we watched another one, and I really hope I get this right, but it was on YouTube. It was the women's soccer team. I think it was the first women's soccer team to win a World Cup. And I believe it was the late 90s, early 2000s.
Right. 99 sounds right.
I think that was right. Yeah, 99, I think. So yeah, there was a little documentary on YouTube of them, and that was really awesome because they were really, the core of growing what now is like, U.S. women's soccer as we see today. Just they were that like, planting seed of what we see today. So it was really cool how like they all came together and won that for the first time ever against, the top team in the world at the time. So yeah, those were our two, and on top of The Last Dance. So that was what we watched.
Yeah, I could see the women's soccer and The Last Dance working like perfectly with, we as a team, we're athletes, we want to watch this. But the Bill Gates one is interesting because there's not necessarily a direct tie-in, but I'm sure you were able to find things that sort of work that you guys can all as a team take away from it.
Oh yeah, and I actually forgot one. There was one more. It was the Becoming documentary of Michelle Obama. Yeah. So I guess those are kind of the two, like, outside of sports. But yeah, no, you can tie in so much just from somebody who is extremely successful, even not in the sports world, but like he has the same mentality as, a Michael Jordan. Like he wanted to be the best coder. He wanted to be the best developer that he could at like a super young age. So it's really cool to see how that kind of translated into something that was outside of sports.
Yeah. And it was funny because like there's a lot you can take away from The Last Dance. One is obviously Jordan's the best basketball player of all time, but two, might not have been the best teammate all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's very true. And I think we saw that, but it was also really interesting to see like how he understood all his teammates. I don't know, I'm sure you've watched it, but there was a time when Dennis Rodman, wasn't in practice for a couple of days. Like he went on vacation, he needed his own break, and he was on vacation, and Jordan walked into his room and was like, hey, let's get to practice now. Like it's time. And I think anybody in that time is like, sitting there like, what the heck is going on? But, and I'm sure he was thinking that at the same time, but like he realized that like, this is what Dennis needs in order to be the best Dennis that he could be. And I thought that was really awesome. I don't think that like, that was something very off the court, but something that stood out to me a lot in that documentary.
And so when you guys would do this, so like you'd watch a documentary on your own time and then do a Zoom as a team and talk about it?
Right. Yeah. So we had like a week or so to watch it. And if it was The Last Dance, it was on Sundays. We had the documentary club, I think it was on Tuesday. So yeah, we just watched it. You took the week to watch it. And then we came together as a team and talked about it.
That's cool. What about the books? You said you did a book club too. What were those?
Yes. Ooh, what did I read? I read Tuesdays with Maury. Okay. Really awesome book. And then I also read a Nelson Mandela book. It was kind of the book that you're supposed to read after you read the biography of him. I think it was called Mandela's Way. Super, super interesting. It's just about how he really like dedicated his whole life to these social injustices that were happening in South Africa, and was in prison for decades fighting this. And just really, really incredible what he did from a leadership standpoint. I mean, I think like he made the ultimate sacrifice for his country and his people in order to combat these injustices. So it was amazing.
I was just thinking, I can't think of a book that is popular that's like a volleyball book. I can't even think of a volleyball movie. Like Top Gun? Is that the most volleyball movie we've had?
Honestly, I don't know. I know there was a movie that came out a couple of years ago, probably now. It was about the high school volleyball team. I think it was called The Miracle Season. Not Miracle, that's a hockey movie. But yeah, there really isn't a whole lot at all out there.
When you watch, I assume you've seen Top Gun?
I actually have not.
Oh, Dana!
I can't say I'm the biggest movie watcher. I really, I like movies. I just have to be in a mood to watch a movie.
No.
But I'll put that on my list. I do have some time now, so Top Gun.
Like, I get it. You're young. You were born in like 2012. But the point is, this is a classic movie. There's this scene where they're just like, for no reason, they just play volleyball shirtless and sweaty. And I wanted to get your take on like, that's absolutely terrible form or whatever. But
most volleyball that you see on TV shows or movies or whatever, even just like a little glimpse, is just interesting.
Because they're clearly not volleyball players?
Right. Yeah, no, it's funny.
What's the biggest thing that bugs you about folks who like don't follow volleyball closely? Like, is it calling a match a game, or is there something else that's more annoying?
I don't really know if there's something that's like really bothers me, but I guess like something that everyone really asks about is libero jersey. Like why does that person wear a different jersey? And like it's not like hard to explain, but like in order to understand, you do have to know like the game and the rotations a little bit. So that's always a super popular question. A lot of people actually don't know what a set is.
Really?
Just say, what's the thing that you do over your head?
They didn't go to gym class in high school?
Apparently it was called a volley.
Nope.
I don't know.
Wrong.
What else? There isn't a whole lot. I mean, you get a whole lot of the spike thing, but it is kind of a spike. That's what they call it internationally too. So, yeah, those are like kind of the two that are on the top of my head.
What about this one? Why are liberos short?
Yeah, I mean, I guess once you kind of describe that, like I stay up high at the net and then they have to get down low and dig balls, that makes sense. But yeah, libero one, that's probably the most common question I get.
You ever swing so hard that you hurt someone in the match?
Actually, in high school, yeah, I have. This girl, I gave a couple of girls concussions.
Oh no!
Yeah, I felt horrible. I don't even know like how it happened. There was one where I played outside in high school and I just like ripped a ball down the line, and the girl was like standing right there, and I was like, oh my goodness. And I guess she like just came back from a concussion too. Like I went up to her parents and I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like I feel horrible.
What did you do?
Huh?
What did you do? Yeah, what did you do?
I mean, I had to apologize. Like, I can't not apologize. And, oh, yeah, no, that was bad. Then another one, I also hit a girl in the head. And I mean, she didn't come back the rest of the match. So, yeah, that was probably the worst.
Was this later? Because like that could be like a perfect example of someone who's genuinely an elite college player playing against high school. It's just
Yeah.
If a major leaguer was going to throw a 95-mile-an-hour pitch at a high school freshman, like, well, it's probably not.
Right.
You
It's
know,
a little different. Yeah. I mean, I think that was like my senior year of high school, actually. So, yeah, I had 2 in a season. Not good.
you ever get hurt in the middle of a match?
Have I ever? I actually did get hurt this past season against Illinois. Super freak weird thing that happened. I just like came down from a block, transitioned, and I was waiting. I just stepped wrong on my foot and sprained like my midfoot. But honestly, like I've been really blessed. Haven't had a whole lot of injuries or anything like that. I have gotten like hit in the face pretty hard from like blocking a ball.
Yeah, that feels good.
Your head, yeah, like right here feels really good. But I've been okay from the most part. I honestly don't know how sometimes. I'm just like, wow. But that's probably the worst that I've had. So I've been pretty blessed.
You told me that you've trained in sand, but how different is the sport of sand volleyball? I mean, is it just your footing, or is there different like strategy that has to go into it?
Yeah, it's like in my mind, like it's a completely different sport because your skill set has to be so different. I mean, you really have to be kind of an all-around player in sand, and you have to be really, really good at reading. As my position as a middle. Yeah, I know, right? My position as a middle, it's really important to read too, but you know, in sand it's 2v2. So you have so much more of the court to take up. You have to be really good at passing, setting, and hitting. But in sand, it's not really like, you don't really go for power. It's a little bit more shoddy, just since there is so much more of the court that is open. So it's way different in like jumping and moving in sand is definitely tough.
Right.
So yeah, I respect that sport a lot. I think it's so much fun. I would love to be good at it one day. I'm just not great at it yet.
Yeah. Well, you got time. You got time.
Yeah,
Again,
I do.
you were born in 2012, according to this.
2012.
What I know you said you're a very visual learner. What sort of film watching do you do with volleyball?
It really depends on the game, on the day. Like, I'm definitely somebody who, like, if I'm bored, I just pull up volumetric, which is like our video thing, and I will just watch games just because, relive the glory days, right? Especially right now. But I do kind of that stuff just because, like, it's interesting to see, like, I like to see, like, my growth, like, throughout the season. So, like, last night I actually was watching a game that, like, was in preseason last year, and then, like, I was watching, I was like, wow, like, mistakes that I've made, like, would never happen now. Well, not never, but I watched a game from, like, my freshman year when I was just like, wow, like, blocking just got so much better, attacking has gotten so much better. So, like, seeing that kind of improvement is really fun. Um, I also, if we're, like, to get more analytical about it though, I definitely watch to see, like, where I can improve too. So I've been watching a lot of international players right now, international middles from the USA gym, and what they're doing with their club teams. And that has helped just to, like, kind of see, like, where I'm at now and where I need to be in order to be successful at the highest level. So that's kind of what I've been doing. And I guess also, like, after practices and stuff like that, also going back and watching that kind of film and just see how we can just build on that day's practice. So
What's it
there's a
been
lot
like?
of layers to that.
Yeah. Well, in terms of getting better, I know, when you're with the national team, that has to help too, right?
Oh yeah.
In what ways have you found that being a part of the national team has helped you in college?
It has helped so much just because, like, I kind of gained a whole entire skill set over there. Um, I was like the new kid there. So I was really soaking up everything that I possibly could. And coming back, like, it really opened my eyes, just a whole entire new world of volleyball that, like, I hadn't even really dived into yet. So being able to just listen to my teammates' stories and um, talk about, like, college games we played against each other, and seeing these players from other countries that have been playing the game for years and watching them on film even it was really cool just because it is such a fast-paced game. It is so it's different than the college game. And so I think it really just, like, kind of elevated my play because I got so much better at um, reading, like, what's going on the other side of the net, reading setters, making fast dynamic moves. I think it improved my serve immensely just because serving's huge at the college level and the international level. So yeah, I mean, all around, all across the board, it really, I think, elevated my game.
Yeah. What's more, I guess, nervous, playing it where you represent your country or playing in the national title match?
Um, hmm.
Because you've done
It
both.
was it was like, I don't want to say I was super super nervous. It was more like excited butterflies. So I guess that could kind of be. It's like a nervous feeling, but, like, it was not nervous by any means. I think going into, like, the national championship match too. Like, I don't think I was nervous because I, like, knew I was ready for that moment. Um, I think for the national team more though, I was really, like, soaking in all that information and getting everybody to be comfortable playing with me, and me being comfortable playing with everybody. So I think it's different. I think that, yes, like, it was like I was kind of on the biggest stage in, like, of volleyball in our country right now, but it's just different in my eyes, if that makes any sense.
Can you sleep before a big match? Because if I have a big show, I know literally the only thing I have to do is get sleep. And I will do whatever. I will take, NyQuil. I will have a glass of wine, like anything that is supposed to knock me out. And like, it is constantly true that I'll be like, big show tomorrow. Didn't fall asleep till 4. Like, ugh.
No, absolutely. I've had those nights. I think the national championship for me was one of those nights. It just was like, I'm so excited for this. I honestly have a harder time sleeping after games.
Really?
Than before games. Yeah, just because like, well, one, like my body just kind of like throbs after games sometimes. So I just kind of lay there. But I think like the adrenaline like after games just lingers for me. And it's hard for me to kind of like be like, all right, it's time to sleep.
Yeah.
But before games, if it's a big game, like, yeah, I'll definitely think about it. But I think I'm pretty good at falling asleep before games because I'm usually pretty tired. So.
Well, that's lucky because it's the worst when you're not, you need 100%, and then
Yeah.
you 100%, and
you're stressing about like not sleeping, and it just, no, it's never good.
We used to, so before I was at BTN, I worked at ESPN, and I would do sports centers, and sometimes there'd be the overnight show. So you'd be there at 1 a.m. You might not get out of the studio until 3 a.m. You get home at like 3:30, and your body is just like, nope, we're not going to go to sleep till the sun's up. You'd have like 4 hours where you're still like trying to go to sleep, and your brain and your body's just like, no, it's not going to happen. You were too revved up.
Yeah, no, I understand. That's crazy though. Wow.
You played, if I'm not mistaken, AAU ball?
Basketball, yeah.
What was that like? Because we hear there's a lot of, the games don't really seem to matter. The outcome doesn't matter. You play so many games so frequently that winning doesn't have the importance that it used to, or that it does when you're with a high school team because you're more attached to it. Like, what's your take on the pros and cons of AAU?
Oh, man. I've always said that just AAU basketball and like club volleyball are like two completely different sports, like two different feels, like completely. I think for both club and AAU, it was just super. I feel like you're working for something else, for other people, and I think in high school, it's definitely you're with people that maybe play club, maybe don't. Kind of depends on what people prioritize in their life. And so I think once you get into like the club scene or the AAU scene of anything, it's a little bit more competitive just because like people are here because they want to be. Not saying that they don't want to be for high school, but like, it's an extracurricular activity. Basketball is just like, it was so different. I felt like it was like super, super intense, like all the time. Definitely a lot more parent involvement in that sport. I think recruiting there, it's like you go to these, it's kind of like, it's like in volleyball, it was just so different in basketball. You go to these recruiting showcases. So it's like you go to this tournament and it is like a recruiting tournament. So people are just beating people up at this rate just because there's coaches everywhere. Volleyball is just, it's a little bit more chill. It's a little bit more, I don't even know how to describe it. It was definitely more like chill. I think it was like, it's not a contact sport, so you can't like really like get, I guess, people going. But yeah, I think in that sense that, sorry, there was a book somewhere. Just it's different. It's different when you come from like high school and then go to like your club that like this is what people are training for to hopefully like get a college scholarship. So.
Right. Well, you certainly got that, and you're doing great at Wisconsin. When college ball is done, is playing professionally feasible? Like, have you thought about it much?
Definitely going to be playing pro ball. So hopefully, I would love to go play in Italy. It's one of the best leagues, all around leagues in Europe. Yeah, so that's definitely my future.
If you can't play, or you play for a little bit and then you're done, what do you want to do career-wise?
So, like, if I want to like completely go away from volleyball, I would love to get into like sports marketing. I'm a marketing major, or broadcasting. That'd be awesome. Or I would also like to be a club coach on a club. I think I would like to coach college if I had the opportunity, but I don't think I would be a head coach. I think I'd be a much better assistant coach.
Why?
Yeah. So I just have a hard time making decisions for people when I'm in charge. I'm definitely someone who's like, let's get like everyone's opinion in here. It's hard for me to like make decisions like collectively as a like for a whole entire group. I just think I'd be better as an assistant coach. I feel like that kind of like alleviates a little bit of pressure. I feel like you can also like work more one-on-one with like a specific group. Like if you're like middles, I'll work with Gary, who's one of our assistant coaches. I feel like you can get, it's a little bit more like personal, I guess. I don't really know, but I think that's just how I would perform my best, honestly.
Let me focus a little bit on Wisconsin. What makes your head coach special?
The thing that I just love so much about Kelly is like he cares about us so much as volleyball players, but he cares even more about us as people. And that is just something that I will forever be thankful for, because I know that like when I do leave Wisconsin, like it doesn't matter if I end up like not playing volleyball, which I will be, but like it doesn't matter where I end up in life. Like I know that I'm going to be prepared, because like they have just done such a good job like bringing me through the program and helping me grow as a person. Like I've learned so much in these past 3 years, and that's something that I think Kelly does super, super well, is just caring for all of us so deeply.
Who on the team can loosen him up?
Can loosen him up? Sometimes I think I can, just because I have a pretty like fun personality, I like to think, or I like to have fun at least. I think we definitely have some people on our team that are like, it is like business. Like we are locked in, like it is time to go. And like, I'm locked in and it's time to go, but like, I also like show that a little bit differently. And like, I'll like goof around people in practice, and, I like to create like a light environment. I also think some of our freshmen can.
Yeah.
They're pretty fun.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
You're on a campus where Frank Kaminsky was the epitome of you can be great at what you do, but also goof off and have a blast.
Right. And I think that's definitely a role that I've found fits me more, because I know that if I'm not having fun, like I'm not going to perform well. That's something I really found out about myself. So yeah. I like to take pride in that.
And I feel like as long as you do the training, your homework, like, and as long as you're good, you can kind of get away with it. If you were getting sloppy or you weren't a very good player, someone would be like, hey, maybe it's because you're goofing off all the time. But as long as you're still good.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I just think everyone can have they have their own style. And I think some people perform better under certain circumstances. So, yeah.
Give me, to your best estimate, how many times you have done jump around.
At like football games?
Yeah.
I think I have only done it about like 5 or 6 times.
Oh, yeah.
There was actually one time, it was a football game last year, and like we had practice. It was actually at the start of the 4th quarter. And we're like in the locker room, we're like getting ready, and we're like, we hear like they do like the student section race, and so we can hear it from the field house. You can hear everything like loud and clear in the field house. It's connected to Camp Randall, and we were all like, "Can we please go outside and do jump around?" Like we are in our volleyball gear, like about to start warming up on the court, and Kelly's like, "Yeah, go!" And so we're like, "Yeah!" So we like run outside, and we're like in like this little tunnel, and we're just all like in our volleyball gear and sweatshirts, and we're just doing jump around. I'm pretty sure it was like snowing or something, but oh yeah, that was really funny. But yeah, honestly, don't get to go to a whole lot of football games, but like probably at least 2 or 3 a year. So I'd say about like 5 or 6.
Good. Why is it some people call you Dana?
So for USA, the announcer on they air all the things on the FIVB. I think it's Flow Volleyball. It's Flow Volleyball. The announcer for Flow Volleyball pronounced my name Dana Rettke. Like at USA, everyone calls me Donna. But that's why.
That's good. Nobody no Badger calls you that though? That's just a Team USA thing?
No, just my USA teammates.
Well, I won't screw that up, Donna. All right, before we go, we're going to do Before You Go. These are 4 questions that have nothing to do with one another. You ready?
I'm ready.
Give me the best donuts on campus.
Greenbush, hands down.
Why?
Greenbush donuts. They are just everything you'd ever want in a donut. They are so amazing. And their selection is amazing. And it just like melts in your mouth. And they are a treat. They are so good. So good.
All right, I'm going there next time.
Donuts on Regent Street.
Okay. Very good.
Gotta go.
Give me, number 2, give me your celebrity lookalike.
I don't know.
Never? You've never thought about someone?
I'd love to hear like other people's opinions on that. I really would. I have no idea. No one's ever been like, oh, you look like so-and-so. I've honestly never.
You know who
That'll be an Instagram poll on my Instagram.
Okay, we can do that.
I'll get back to you.
You know who I get all the time?
Who?
Denzel. Look a lot alike. Not supposed to hear that. Number 3, give me the best volleyball player you have ever played against.
There was in college, Catherine Plummer for sure. Internationally, I think it was probably there's a couple really good players on the Brazilian team.
Okay.
Really, really good players. So yeah, that's my answer.
Number 4, if you wanted to impress one of your friends by cooking something, what would it be?
So I'm the chef in my house. My go-to, honestly, for cooking is I can make, my roommates love when I either make turkey burgers or chicken piccata or salmon.
Okay.
Also just gotten into lasagna too. So yeah, I would make like some type of protein with some veggies, probably like some potatoes or something.
Good.
Yeah.
I'll be over tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'll be there.
And then we'll have some Greenwood donuts for dessert.
Yes. Oh my gosh, they're so good.
Dana Rettke, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Oh, of course. Thank you.
So to recap, she's given concussions to opponents multiple times before, used her pandemic downtime on reading books and watching documentaries, and if you catch her right before a big match, she'll be having a dance party. My thanks to Dana Rettke for joining me. Heads up, our pal Alex Rue always has great stuff on his Take 10 podcast. Be sure to check that out. That'll do it for this episode. From the Big Ten Network in Chicago, I'm Mike Hall. We'll see you next week.